it's Louise here. Now today we're going to have a chat about brain fog, thyroid brain, and as it's been pointed out to me this week, COVID brain. So when we're really stressed, we really don't have very good brain function and a lot of anxiety gets in the way. But when we're talking about brain fog from a thyroid perspective, we're looking at when the blood flow slows down. Everything with hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's, things can slow down considerably, and it really affects how our brain functions. So we take our brain for granted and we think that it's always going to work and it's always going to be there. But I found that there's a lot of times where you just go, I got nothing, and you walk into a room, you go, why am I here? And I have others say, but it's a sign of aging, and it doesn't have to be. It really doesn't. Now, it can be that you forgot where you put your car keys. I've done that quite a lot of times, and I know what it's like to stop mid-sentence and go, forgot what I was going to say, really sorry. When I'm having a thyroid flare, that gets really bad. So when I have Hashimoto's, I'm trying to find, I'm going to keep checking down just in case there's questions on my page, so I can keep an eye out on that. And tech savvy, I'm not very good at it, so welcome. So we're just having a chat about thyroid brain at the moment. So the other thing too is that what we eat really affects how, oh Wendy, hey Wendy, lovely to see you, hon. What we eat really affects how our brain functions and works. So a lot of the times when we're not eating the right kinds of foods, and that creates a lot of gut health symptoms, it really affects how much that clarity is gone and how much brain fog that we have. So our brains need the right fuel, and a lot of times it's like, okay, what type of fuel do we really need? So our brain takes 40% of what we eat. That's a lot. Think about it. 40% of what you eat goes to fueling the brain. So you can understand how that's so important, and our digestive system is classed as our second brain. So it really impacts it. I would love to see if I can see comments, but I'm not having much luck here. Hopefully I'll see them. If you post them, hopefully I'll see them, because I'm not a tech no. Alright, I want you to say back then. No, I can't hear you, Wendy, unfortunately. It gets like that. I love it when I talk to the screen as well. Hi Wen, how you doing? So we're just going through very quickly and talking about our brain needing the right type of fuel. We need a lot of nutrients, a very nutrient dense foods is what we're after, because that way we're going to give our brain foods, and we're going to go through some of the different ones that are really important for our brain health. But what happens too is if we have a lot of packaged foods and a lot of saturated fats, or really high in carbohydrates. Now, our thyroid does love carbohydrates, but it doesn't like it when we eat way too many, and a lot of those way too many is usually packaged foods. Yeah, like, have a giggle, Wendy. So what happens is it causes inflammation in the gut. It means you don't digest your food, you don't absorb your nutrients, then your brain doesn't get anything, and it's starving. So literally the brain is starving when we've got brain fog and unable to think. So there are so many digestive issues that can come into play, like irritable bowel, gastritis, H. pylori, leaky gut. Leaky gut's a massive one actually. But all those digestive symptoms really go hand in hand with how well we're able to think. And when we're having a flare, it usually means that we've got a higher degree of leaky gut permeability. It is a real thing, just the medical profession like to call it gut permeability rather than leaky gut. Leaky gut's just a term that we like to use because you understand it a little bit better. Okay, so high saturated fats, really bad. So the bad fats, not the good ones. But also xenoestrogens is another really good one that can interfere and affect how well we think, can affect our energy, and then if we have no energy, then we're not thinking. So that's why it comes down to that 40% that our brains are sponging nutritionally wise, doesn't leave much rest for the rest of us. So our fatigue can really, really increase. So second brain in the gut, brain, if it's taking almost half of your nutrition, there's a big understanding of why we are so tired. Alrighty, so what I recommend, so some of the best brain foods that I know is your blueberries. Half a cup of blueberries a day can make a really big difference every single day, and frozen is okay, so don't stress about if they're frozen. If you can't get fresh ones are brilliant, not always accessible. Things like avocados are really good. Let me see, I have my list. So avocados, blueberries, salmon, high quality essential fatty acids as in fish oils, MCT, which is medium chain triglycerides, and you usually get that from coconut oil. Walnuts specifically, I still don't go. I'm just going to turn that little sucker off. Walnuts specifically are very, very much shown to help with brain function. But some of your other nuts are good, but not peanuts. Peanuts are very high in causing inflammation, so we tend to stay away from that. Seeds can be really good. With the autoimmune, you've got to be really careful with your nuts and seeds. Sometimes it just means soaking them, and then that's a lot easier. Chocolate, it's got to be dark chocolate. Xenoestrogens, so basically endocrine disruptors, things that will attach to not Z. It's what will block the uptake in the body, and also mimic estrogen in the body, which can lead to weight gain. It can lead to storage of toxins in the fat in the body. It will also lead to good old belly fat around the butt and hips, which is really not fun. Yes, spell checker or spectacular. Spell checker loves it, but it's really a biggie. So we're also looking at reducing those toxins that we have around us and in our foods as well. So what else have I got? I've got raw cacao is your best one if you're looking at it. Chocolate, depending on what else is in it. So really read your labels, guys. That's one of the most important things. We don't want to put stuff into our body that we really don't know. It's like, don't put anything on your skin that you wouldn't eat. Garlic's fantastic, green tea, olive oil, oysters. This is just a few little things. Fluids, look, it's everywhere. It's in our food, it's in our water, it's in our cleaning products, it's in our furnishings, it's in our carpets, it's absolutely everywhere. So the idea is to be able to eat as well as you can, so we don't add an extra burden onto the body. And then by regularly just having a gentle cleanse of the system can help reduce it. But because our fat cells hold a lot of the xenoestrogens, a lot of these toxins, when we detox the body, it can give you another reaction because a lot of it tends to come out. So when we're losing weight, that fat breaks down, it releases toxins back into the body, and those toxins can be any form of metabolite that our body struggles to get rid of, can cause brain fog, can cause olive oil, and besides coconut butter to make cacao. What can I use besides coconut butter? To make chocolate here at home, we use coconut oil, cacao, and salt. That's it. Don't use anything else. And then that goes into the freezer, and it stays in the freezer because it melts when you eat it. But it makes beautiful chocolate, and I know exactly what's in it. I hope that helps. But yeah, just be aware that when we do lose weight, and I know so many of us want to, and we're going to cover weight loss in another chat, that we really need to do it and support our body with really good nutritious food, so we're able to cope with that release at that same time. Cinnamon tea, specifically Ceylon cinnamon. So if you're buying cinnamon, something not coconut to make chocolate, Let me have a think of that one. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure, but I'll get back to you about that. Well, you're going to make me think now for a while. Look, butter, cacao butter. You can get cocoa butter, which isn't coconut, and you can use cacao butter to make chocolate. Look, I think, yes, it depends. Yeah, look, I'll get back to you because I'm going to have to think. But actual cacao butter, you can buy that. That works really well, and that comes in either block form or nib form, and that makes a really nice chocolate. I can hear my grandchildren yelling. Oh, good. Cinnamon. Okay, so I'm talking about, we'll have a chat about that. Cinnamon's really, really good. Now, cinnamon's fantastic to help reduce inflammation. It's fantastic for our immune system. It's fantastic for helping reduce our... See, you're off track. Thanks, Wendy. I'm going to go like this, and it's really hard. Two trains of thought, and do this and tech all at the same time. Do I have brain fog today? No. And I'm thankful for it, because some days I'll wake up and it's like I got nothing, and the other days it's like, hey, yeah, I got this. So cinnamon, look, I want you to let you know, cinnamon's fantastic for weight loss. It's fantastic for metabolic disorder. It's fantastic for immune system. It's fantastic for inflammation. But please make sure it's Ceylon cinnamon, not the stuff that you buy in the supermarket, because it's not real. You have to make sure it's organic and you're getting it from the health food shop, and that one is really, really a good source of it. So the other one is coffee. Now, you only do coffee if your adrenals code. Now, Wendy, your adrenals, no. I'm going to pick on you now. Look, and when we're talking about coffee, we're talking about very small amounts because it's processed through the liver. But if we're very high strung, or if we're very tired, or if we've got a lot of brain fog, then coffee is not the way to go. It's only going to increase and exacerbate the matter. But it does work for some. And I do know, I have a few patients that coffee works really, really well for. So turmeric is one of my other favorites. Now, a lot of you know I absolutely adore turmeric. It is fantastic for our gut health and healing and sealing the leaky gut. It's fantastic for reducing inflammation, especially inflammation in the brain, and in inflammation wherever in the body. So trying to make sure we're eating a whole turmeric. You're shaking my head. I love it. Look, I really, really do enjoy turmeric. So I have some still stored in and jarred, bottled, canned, what do you call it, in the cupboard. So we're slowly going through that as well, because I've noticed the turmeric's just flowering, so she won't be ready to be harvested till about, not for another couple of months. Alrighty, so what else have we got? So one of the things that is shown with Hashimoto's specifically, and Graves' disease and hypothyroidism, is that we have a higher likelihood of Alzheimer's. And so we really want to focus on helping our brain stay healthy now, so that doesn't happen. So making sure that we take all those foods out of our diet and replace them with really good nutrient dense foods makes a really big difference to how well our brain functions. And that's the most important part. The compounds in turmeric, aromatic turmerones, curcuminoids, they actually help to repair the different places in the brain. So that's why it's really good. All right. So I'm just going to read my note now. So the health of our brain depends not only on supplementing with the foods listed above, but also on our overall health of our guts. So that is the biggest part, is making sure that our gut health is the best. And if we have bloating or constipation or diarrhea or irritable bowel or reflux, that tells you that your gut's not working really well. That tells you then that there is that inflammation that can cross through into the brain that causes our brain fog, and then increases our fatigue, because as I said, our brain is taking 40% of our nutrition. So brain on fire, it's another term for brain inflammation, and you'll hear it a lot, especially from David Perlmutter, Dr. Tom O'Brien. A lot of the big guys in the world talk a lot about brain on fire at the moment. And there are so many studies that show that gut inflammation will lead to brain inflammation. So brain on fire, what can, let me see. Do you love it? I talk to myself. Even on the live, I still manage to chat to myself. I'm really good at that one. All right, so I tend to find that the standard Australian diet, same as a standard American diet, is so high in crap food that we have a higher rate of brain disorders in reality. Anxiety, depression, ADHD, brain fog, fatigue, you name it. All of that is telling you that our guts are not working really, really well, and that leaky gut is a major player here. So one of the three of the biggest culprits for this: gluten, dairy, and GMO foods. Now, I'm going to hear a few of you going, oh my God, gluten again, because gluten causes brain inflammation in the gut. It causes a leaky gut. It causes our gut lining to open and allowing proteins through. So gluten doesn't necessarily become a digestive issue, but it goes to your weak spot. So if you have a lot of brain fog, it's going to go there. If you have heart disease, it's going to affect your heart. If you've got a liver disorder, it's going to affect the liver. If you've got a muscular issue, it's going to go there. For me, when I eat gluten, it is it's a neurological disorder. So that's how it affects me the most. It hurts my nervous system. I get the bloating too, but that's just because of the gut permeability. All right, so here are my top tips onto thinking clearly and getting better concentration. It's not just about food, about being conscientious, about living with gratitude. If you could keep a journal and gratitude every single day, but be conscientious in everything you do. Surround yourself with positive people. So positive people uplift you, helps your brain fire. It makes all those little neurons in your brain work really, really well. So that one's a good one. If you're around people that are very negative and very depressed all the time, you tend to find that you end up feeling lowered and sucked down like that. So surrounding yourself. They say that the state of your health is the same as the 5 people that you spend the most amount of time with. Now, it's really hard when we're stuck inside most of the time. So connections like this make a really big difference. And if you can surround yourself with people, even online, that are uplifted and upbeat and happy and conscientious and live with gratitude, you will find that that lifts you up and your brain gets a lot clearer as well. Manage your stress. Now this is huge, because the moment we have stress, it turns our brain off like that, turns off your digestion, turns off so many things, and then you get really foggy brains. So I do notice that the more stressed I get, the more I can't think, and I find that that tends to be with majority of the people that I talk to. Move your body, okay? Yeah, who hasn't heard this one? Go for a walk, get in the sunshine, do some yoga, do some Pilates, anything that you enjoy doing that gets you moving, gets that blood flow to the brain. So there's a yoga pose called forward fold. So having your brain lower than your heart and almost touching the floor means that you get a good flush of blood flow to the brain. That means you're getting nutrients to the brain. If you're not moving, we're not getting those nutrients, those 40% of what we're eating, nutrients to our brain. Our brain is starving. That starving is brain fog. That starving is, I have no concentration. That starving is, I'm procrastinating because I can't think and I'm going to watch mindless Netflix, even though that can be really good at certain times. So you really think about it. So that makes a really big difference. 5th one, maintain a healthy weight. Now, we're going to talk a lot more about weight over the next couple of weeks, about what we can do to help reduce weight with thyroid disorders as well. But maintaining a healthy weight, and by doing all of these things, really helps reduce that brain inflammation, really helps reduce that brain fog, so we can think more clearly. Eat a healthy diet, as mentioned, so those foods were avocados and blueberries and salmon and fish oils. We've got nuts, specifically walnuts. We're looking at raw cacao, garlic, green tea, olive oils, oysters, just to name a few, to help our brain function. Get 8 hours sleep a night, making sure that you're sleeping. Sleeping is really important because if we have broken sleep, our brain doesn't get a chance to heal and repair itself through that time. So we can wake up really tired, really fatigued, and our brain just goes, I'm not going to turn on today. I'm going to walk around in a mindless fog. So sleep is really, really important. Child's pose is fantastic, Wendy. Yes, I do child's pose every morning when I do my yoga. I find forward fold really gets that blood flowing, but child's pose is such a stress reducing position that it's fantastic. Good smoked salmon on, oh, smoked salmon's on sale. Hey, I like that. I've actually just finished writing a 5-day weight loss for thyroid and I have smoked salmon in there, so stay tuned, that's coming soon. I'm excited. What else? Be constantly learning something new. Challenge your brain. I'm doing tech stuff which seriously challenges me and seriously makes me cranky, but it challenges me and I find it so frustrating. But when I find the answer, it is amazing. The surge of good hormones and good neurotransmitters I get is fantastic. But doing things like Sudoku and crossword puzzles or an actual puzzle or learning a language or a musical instrument, something like that really challenges the brain, helps the brain fire and helps create new pathways in the brain and helps reduce any inflammation, which can really improve how well you think and how well and how much energy you have as well. And my last tip is always try to avoid those toxins as much as possible. So we're looking at organic food as much as we can. We're looking at reducing toxins in our house that we use as cleaners in our foods. Not in my world does child pose work. Stretch bands are great. You can even like child's pose I can struggle with, but even a forward fold is only as far as you can go. You don't have to be able to touch the floor. There are a lot of moves. I sit there and go, okay, I can get to here. I can't get any further and I don't have a lot of movement. And all you do, crocheting is brilliant because if you're learning a new stitch, yes. If you are doing crocheting and you can watch telly, then no, because that is muscle memory. But having to follow a pattern or a new stitch, crochet, sew. Sew, what does sew mean? Sew as in sewing, but if it's something, a new stitch, a new pattern, something that you have to look and concentrate, then it's brilliant. But I used to be able to knit and watch telly at the same time, and that is not activating the brain, that is muscle memory. No bending knees, no new pattern. New pattern, yes, no bending knees, I know. So, okay, so the other good one then is laying on the floor with the legs up the wall. That one works as well because you want the blood to flow down from the legs back into the torso, and which then will circulate back into the brain. Okay? And I know you can do that one. It's nice if you've got a wall to lean against rather than trying to hold your own legs up. But if you want a challenge, don't use a wall. Then you'll really find it interesting. So, action steps today, guys. What can you do? What can you do to support your brain health with brain food today? What can you commit to? I love it, it's great. What about reading a new book? What about playing a strategy game? What about doing a puzzle or a problem or a new hobby? Something today. Your challenge is to try something new today and or this week to help stimulate your brain into working. Alrighty, so if you want any more information, better food choices, definitely. Even I still do better food choices. I look in my fridge and it's like, oh wow, there's so much brain food in here, it's really, really cool. Would I like a sandwich? I'd really like a sandwich. I think I'm going to have some protein because that's my go. The moment it's like, if I'm looking for carbohydrate, I'm actually after protein and I haven't eaten enough fats and protein that day if I'm looking for carbs. Oh, fresh lamb. Oh, Wendy, that is divine. Oh, I had a stew last night that I cooked, but I could so do with fresh lamb. So, as action steps as well, book a focus call with me if you want any more information, or join my group. So in my group we're going to be doing a lot more nutrition stuff, a whole lot more. I've got a whole lot planned that's coming up. But if you have any questions after the live, keep putting them in. Just put replay or put a Q in it, so when I search for it I can find them and I can answer your questions. So have a fantastic day. I'm aiming to do a live every Thursday, depending on my grandkids, and depending on what time. But stay tuned. If you have any ideas on what you'd like some more information on, please let me know as well, and then we can have a chat about that too. But have a fantastic day. Go and have a nice cup of green tea. I'm really liking the sound of those lamb racks though, Wendy. Okay guys, take care, look after yourselves, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.